Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dr. Pastor Ben with the 3 T's, thoughts, traumas, and toxins of any disease so that you can heal to 100%. Now, today we are talking about aneurysms, and I just want to say thank you for joining this membership site, whether you're on trial here for 7 days for free or you are already a paid member. I want to thank you because you are a rare species, if you will. We're all humans, but you are a rare breed of humans because you are someone who has taken things to the next level, and you're not just looking to be more aware of the same stuff as you did previously when you were suffering from disease or when you're learning more about disease. You're now increasing your awareness, and more importantly, you are now applying intention and your attention to fixing the problem. And I want to give you video viewers, members on this membership site, a different value than people on my LinkedIn newsletters, because we've got hundreds of subscribers there, and those are just to help to kickstart your awareness. And that's what I want to put in the description link down below. Like, if you came in today through the membership site, maybe you jumped on my website and you signed up for the trial and you've never had a look on my newsletters, a lot of the things that I'm about to say actually will be rehashed in a more descriptive and detailed way on my LinkedIn newsletter. So this is how it looks like. It's called 100% Healing for Any Disease. That's the same title as the membership site because it is the same content. I'm just going a little deeper and more personal in the video. So if you want to really increase your awareness, because like everyone says, when it comes to transformation, it always starts with being aware, right? I heard this great marketing expert say this one time, that to tell a dog owner to buy food for the dog, it's a no-brainer. The dog owner definitely needs to buy food, and there's no problem marketing dog food. But for a dog owner to buy a $100 supplement so that the dog can have the best fur coat ever in its entire life, he first needs to be aware of more things than just the dog being hungry, because the owner is definitely aware that the dog can be hungry, will be hungry, but how many owners actually are aware that the dogs need good omega-3s in the coat so that the coat can be shiny and can last long and not shed too fast, right? So awareness is a number one step to transformation, and that's what the LinkedIn newsletter provides. And you can see here very slowly that I've written in a very succinct and concise manner, right, for all things relating to aneurysms. And this is the same every single Wednesday for every disease. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the content here just to really bring us all to the same level of awareness. And what I want to talk about today is, because you are a video viewer and you're going beyond awareness, I want you to actually watch this video in your own space where you're not bothered, you're not actually concerned about people around you, you're actually possibly by yourself in your own closet, in your secret place, in your dining area by yourself. Because at the end of the day, guys, when we get into the crux of healing, it is not just the doing healthy things like running or a supplement or food as medicine and stuff like that. It is really about being human, because we're called to be human beings and not just human doing or having. So for us to actually have health, we got to go beyond the doing healthy stuff. We actually got to do the being, and being is found in relationships. Now, I know a lot of us may not be religious or Christians here, but principles in the Bible applies to every single person because it applies to human beings. That's what the Bible is written for, human beings. And the Bible says that before God even said, do not do this, do not have this, he said, man is not designed to be alone. So you can see that relationship has always been put in your and I DNA from the very beginning of our lives. That means you and I were not designed to live life alone. That means that when you have relationships, and I presume that if you're watching this video, you have some kind of relationships with yourself, with others, and even with God. So any kind of breakdown in relationships, signs have shown that relationship breakdown, it is the most potent form of stress. And when someone has unhealthy stress, that's where disease starts, because 87 to 95% of chronic diseases today that are considered incurable by mankind can be traced back to an unhealthy thought life. Okay, so get this, guys, get this, that relationship always brings out the best in you it can also bring out the worst in you. And the worst part of relationships often manifests and festers as an unhealthy thought life. So I want to get into the 3 T's, the thoughts, the traumas, and the toxins really quickly of aneurysms. And the hidden root that is in the first 2 T's, the traumas and the thoughts, is really unresolved anger and resentment. Okay, let me say that again. Unresolved anger and resentment. And that actually, in science, have proven that it fuels internal weakening of your arterial walls. That means your blood vessel walls actually weaken as you are more angry, as you are more resentful to a person, to yourself, over a long period of time. I have many patients who have had aneurysms or have been predisposed to aneurysms, and when they are now aware of these emotional root causes, they realize that it doesn't just apply to themselves. It can actually apply to their mom, their dad, that they have been resentful towards for a long period of time, and all these different stuff start to come up, and that's where we actually appropriate the right treatment. Okay, so before I get into the meat of things, that's what I want to start off with. The unresolved anger and resentment to yourself, to others, or even towards God can actually fuel the internal weakness in your arterial wall. Now, McEwen in 2017 in the Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews journal revealed that chronic emotional stress, emotional stress causing by relationship breakdown, actually causes so much inflammation, sustained inflammation, not just fluctuations in inflammation, but sustained bad inflammation, to the point where it damages arterial walls and it increases the risk of aneurysms. Now, more recently in 2020, Lee and colleagues found in the Frontiers in Human Neuroscience demonstrated that persistent relationship emotional stress leads to increased inflammatory markers such as CRP, cytokines, and damaged blood vessel integrity over time. So how many of you guys know that when we take our lab results, maybe from our annual checkup and stuff like that, and we see an increase in inflammation, how many of us actually think of it as a problem with your relationships? Most people think of bad inflammation as, what could I have eaten? Because my diet has gotten crappy over time. Like, I lost access to organic foods, and I lost my job, and I couldn't afford organic stuff. Everyone thinks to the doing, the eating, the exercising, but no one really thinks about the being, whoever you are, being Ben in a relationship with myself and with others. Because at the end of the day, like I said, relationship breakdown causes the most amount of stress that can cause disease, and it can cause a dysfunctional pattern in your thought life, which 87-95% of the time causes an incurable disease. Okay. Now, another research here by Holzow, probably German, and colleagues in psychological science demonstrates how mindfulness and cognitive restructuring can alter your neural circuits associated with stress, reducing inflammation and supporting vessel healing. Now, get this, guys. For you to be even mindful and to restructure your cognition, renewing your mind how to think, renewing your mind with healthy thoughts to break the negative thought pattern cycle, doesn't it make sense that in the clinic, you and I, if I get the privilege and honor to be your clinical director, that before I even teach you how to renew your mind or get someone else on board to heal your mind, to renew your mind with, doesn't it make sense from this research that mindfulness and cognitive restructuring alters your neural circuit? Doesn't it make sense that I get into a diagnostic experiment with you first? Because that's what science proves as well, right? Like what I just said, mindfulness and cognitive restructuring associated with stress actually alters neural circuits. That means if I can get into how your brain thinks using different clinical testing methods, in my case, I'm using functional neurology, we actually in the clinic can identify the specific relationship and the specific emotion, guys, get this, emotion trigger and specific relationship that will cause your body to crumble the most. So we have different performance markers in the clinic, and when we judge that particular relationship and an associated emotional thought against that performance marker, the ones that perform the worst are very likely to be the one that causes you the most amount of breakdown in your stress patterns, and hence causing you the most amount of unresolved anger, and therefore the hardest to get rid of the anger, and therefore needing the right treatment. So can you see, guys, we're moving beyond the awareness stage, and we're getting you to now really apply the intention. Because at the end of the day, guys, my team, my expert team and I, we have pastors, we have counselors, we have psychotherapists, and we even have psychologists and people who supply us food to deal with the toxins and stuff like that. Food is medicine, the third T of the framework. But all this starts with that one thing that I just mentioned, the diagnosis of a particular relationship that gave rise to a particular emotion or emotions trigger in this area, in this case of aneurysms, anger or resentment, that actually now makes more sense when I refer you out to a co-management partner to help you to talk you through healing that particular relationship. So if you had an angry dad for a while, and now for 30 years of your life you've been beaten up by your dad verbally or physically, and now you exert that onto your employees. So you have this chronic anger, but the resentment happened towards your dad. I would then refer you to a family counselor or a pastor who specializes in healing family disputes and stuff like that, right? Very rarely we get lawyers involved and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, guys, you got to understand that the diagnosis of the particular relationship and the particular trigger is what matters most. So this is where I want to get really quickly into the last part with bodily toxins, that because we live in a world fraught with environmental toxins, including pollutants like particulate matter and chemicals, further burdening detox system and promoting oxidative stress, contributing to vascular vessels weakening, thus increasing your risk of aneurysms. Like this was just pushed out in research by Kim and her colleagues in 2021, right? All these are what I would say is available to you as your next step. That means when you actually get an idea of what it means to heal, you can now apply the right intention. Now, I hope that I've gotten you to this spot where you're now not just aware of the root causes, but you're sort of dabbling with the intention. Should I be intentional with this? Should I just ignore whatever Dr. Ben said and just go on with my life? Right? I want to challenge you, because the next step from intention is decision. And if you decide that you want to get this transformation, I want to urge you, do not waste any longer. Do not waste any more time, because chronic disease like aneurysm is a disease that progresses worse over time. It worsens over time. And the more you wait, the worse the condition is. And I really hope that this message spoke directly to your spirit, into your heart, because at the end of the day, if you choose to transform your life, you know that Dr. Pastor Ben, myself, and my expert team are more than ready to jump on to help you transform. So I hope this blesses you. And in my next video, where I talk about angina, chest pain, right, due to inadequate heart supply of the heart, feel free to watch that video. But I want you to have that same framework, that you're always at this moment looking to increase your awareness, looking to increase your intention around solving the disease, and ultimately you are just one decision away from being transformed. I hope this blesses you. God bless. Take care.